A federal judge in Texas on July 16th blocked the Biden administration from accepting new applications for DACA recipients. Basically, this is the same judge that blocked DAPA 8 years ago, the Deferred Action for Parent Arrivals, where parents of children were going to get legal status. This is the same judge that blocked Obama's DAPA program. He's now blocking DACA. What he is doing, though, is he said that because there are over 700,000 or so all DACA recipients already, it would be extraordinarily unfair to take DACA away from them after a decade. He is allowing those DACA recipients to continue to have DACA. He is allowing the Biden administration to accept DACA applications from new individuals who never applied for DACA before. This only affects people who never applied for DACA before. It does not affect somebody who already filed for DACA or already was approved for DACA and needs a new extension notice. This only refers to people who have potentially could have applied for a DACA and never did so. And he's barring people from getting DACA, those new applications. USCIS is still accepting the applications. So if you have never filed for DACA, you should still do it. USCIS is going to accept it. But until this runs through the court system, they're not going to make a decision, unfortunately, on your case. Now, Judge Andrew Hainis, found the program violated the Administrative Procedures Act, the APA. And by the way, it's interestingly, the Administrative Procedures Act is the process in which we as attorneys bring actions against USCIS when they violate your individual rights. But he says it violated the Administrative Procedures Act when it was created. But as I said, since there were so many people currently enrolled in the program, he did not eliminate it. He's just not allowing new people to apply for it. It really comes down to, at some point in time, they've been talking about DREAM Act since 2001. 20 some odd years already. I think everybody has talked this to death. People have been a political ping pong ball for decades with this. It's about time somebody passes a law to allow people, children who had no decision on coming to America, who the United States educated. We spent tax dollars educating them in elementary school, junior high, high school, perhaps even college. They are functioning members of our society, doctors, lawyers. We had actors on. They are first responders. They are nurses. They are school bus drivers and everything in between. Did nothing wrong other than had the unfortunate luck of not being born in the same country as me and you, Jonathan.
Right.
That's the only thing they did differently. As American as me, as American as you, they grew up here. It's about time that we pass a bill for them. It's actually, the only thing I can say at this point is it's disgusting that it hasn't happened yet.
Absolutely. So now that the judge had ruled it illegal,
right,
where do you go from here? Like, do they bring this back up the next presidency?
It goes on appeal. So now there's going to be a higher court that's going to decide on it.
Okay.
And then that court decision is not going to mean anything. And eventually it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And in the Supreme Court, there is a conservative majority. And the concern is because there's a conservative majority in the Supreme Court that ultimately the Supreme Court may side with Judge Hainis. I hope I never have to go before him because then they'll bring up this video that I called him Hainis, but so be it. That unfortunately, many people believe that the Supreme Court, because it's a 6-3 conservative majority, may find, like Judge Hainis found, that DACA itself is illegal and the program. Biden administration, now Trump tried to end it, if you remember, back in 2018. And he would have been successful had he not been such a dumb pumpkin, because he just didn't go about it right. He didn't follow the right procedure to end the program. So the program wasn't ended because the Supreme Court in 2018 found the program legal. It was not ended because the Supreme Court found that Donald Trump did not follow the right procedures to end the program. He was just a little fast on the trigger. He didn't want to wait and follow the right process.
Right.
So ultimately, that's why DACA survived. Now, this next Supreme Court, whenever it's going to happen, probably sometime next year, they are going to decide on the merits of whether DACA is legal or not. It was made up by President Obama. President Obama, Congress didn't pass anything. You know, we're supposed to pass a law. You know, the argument is Congress is supposed to pass a law, and the President of the United States is supposed to execute that law.
Right.
The President of the United States is the one who is in charge of making sure the law is followed. The Congress is the one who's in charge of making the law. So it's a very simple argument. Congress never made a law, and now all of a sudden all of these people are getting work permits, are getting DACA work permits, promises not to get deported, et cetera, et cetera. And the flip side is that the president already has the authority to decide on this. There's already been a law that allows presidents to decide who gets to stay and who doesn't through an executive order called deferred and forced departure. Presidents are allowed to do that. Department of Homeland Security is allowed to do that. So we'll see what the Supreme Court says, but ultimately the concern is that because it's a conservative court, they don't care about immigrants.
They're going to side.
They will side with Judge Hayden. Now, they're going to pass an infrastructure bill sometime this week, and then the next stage of what Biden wants to do in Washington, which is going to happen over the next 30, 60, 90 days, is going to be a budget reconciliation where they only need 50 votes. And as part of that budget reconciliation, 50 Democratic senators, all standing in line, voting in favor of a budget reconciliation, they want to try to put the DREAM Act as part of that budget reconciliation. And they have to do it in a way that, one, gets all 50 Democratic senators on board, and two, do it in a way that this DREAM Act affects the budget of the United States of America, whether it's there's going to be some sort of filing fee or some sort of revenue generating from passing the DREAM Act. There has to be some sort of revenue that gets generated from this because it has to be part of a budget.
Right.
So if they can figure out a way to generate revenue from the DREAM Act and they can get 50 senators on board, it can be part of the budget reconciliation. It is not going to pass a regular Congress because all the Republicans keep going back to fix the border, fix the border, fix the border, which is what we've heard for the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening with the DREAM Act. Meanwhile, as the Biden administration is trying to figure out what to do with the DREAM Act, as far as, by the way, people are going to be like, well, what's going to happen with the other forms of the amnesty for the farm workers, amnesty for others who are here in the United States? Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. If anything has a chance of passing, it's going to be the DREAM Act. We'll see. If they can't pass the DREAM Act in the next 60 days, they're not passing anything. I can tell you that. As all of this is happening, the Biden administration has resumed fast-track deportation flights to Central America, following another spike in families crossing the border into the Rio Grande Valley. As we discussed, the Biden administration has continued to use the public health order known as Title 42, which was invoked by the former President Donald Trump at the start of the pandemic to expel migrants that are found near the border and crossing the border. Biden is still trying to act like he's tough on the border and compassionate at the same time. He's acting tough, talking compassionate. He's trying to satisfy all sides. That's basically what's happening there with Biden. Meanwhile, conservative media has been reporting that most of COVID cases are resulting from, quote, disease-infested immigrants who are coming across the border. That is, according to conservative media, the real public health danger. Politifact reported on Friday that although undocumented immigration may be a contributing factor to the coronavirus spread, obviously each person who comes into the United States, if they are sick with COVID, possibly can spread it. Mm-hmm. There is no evidence whatsoever other than complete speculation that COVID is being spread because of immigrants entering without inspection across the border from Mexico.
Honestly, I was just waiting for this to happen, especially with the Delta variant and everybody starting to get scared again. I was like, they're going to start using this on their side, the conservative media, to say disease-infested immigrants. That right there just shows you that they want you guys to, you know, think this and feel like they're the ones who are bringing the problem when it's not even a fact. It's not a fact, correct?
It's not any proven fact, that is for sure. It's absolute speculation.
How's that legal to even do that, though?
Anyone can say whatever they want.
On the media.
It's free speech, but I'll say this about using immigrants as scapegoats. And this is throughout the history of the world. Okay, if you can go back to any part of world history, okay? For any leader to rally people around a cause, the easiest way to rally somebody around a cause as a leader is to blame somebody else for your problems. Okay? We have problems. It's not because of you. It's because of somebody else. And that is the history of the world. Okay? I mean, you can go to World War II in Germany. You know, Germany lost World War I because of the Jews. Let's kill them all. I mean, we can go back to any part of world history. Okay? In the 1950s in the United States, it wasn't immigrants. It was communists. Okay, we had the McCarthy hearings. Everybody was accused of being a communist. Well, the communists are coming to take over the United States of America. Okay, in the 1960s, it was the hippies. I can go on and on and on. 1980s, it was the Japanese.
Right.
Okay, the Japanese were going to take over the world with their televisions and Toyotas. Remember?
Yep.
Okay, in 2000, it wasn't immigrants. It was Muslim terrorists.
Muslim terrorists.
It was Muslim terrorists. We went to war against two countries. In Afghanistan, the longest war of 20 years, what did it get us? Nowhere. But we had to blame somebody for our problems. Not to say that it wasn't Muslim terrorists who came and they were in fact Muslim and they were in fact terrorists, but that didn't make every single person a terrorist. Or every single Muslim person a bad person. There are as many good Muslim people as there are Christian people, as Jewish people, and anything else.
And it's wild because every single one of those instances and situations, decades and decades after, we all still have that in our mind, like, you know, what they tried to do. And there's certain people that are like, oh, I get afraid when I fly planes, like today. That's know? And it sucks that they have long-lasting impressions on everybody because how the media just goes into your mind. So.
By the way, the Department of Homeland Security that we have to deal with every day in immigration was formed as a result of 9/11. Had there not been a 9/11, there would be no Department of Homeland Security.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it used to just be the Immigration Naturalization Service. They did everything. Then they made ICE, then they made Department of Homeland Security and everything else. All of this has erupted, by the way, between President Joe Biden and Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, because Florida has the highest coronavirus cases in the United States of America. Governor DeSantis, if Trump doesn't run for president, he is the front runner to run against President Biden as the presumptive Republican nominee, at least at this moment. So Trump steps aside, it's going to be DeSantis running for president. So he's already starting his political campaign against Biden because, you know, Biden's going to say, hey, you're like, you know, some people are calling Governor DeSantis in Florida Governor Death Santis. Have you heard that one down there in Florida?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Vanessa?
No.
You have not heard that? Yes, I've heard that from several people.
They actually have the shirts.
Yeah, Governor Death Santis. So, so this is the start of the presidential campaign already, because you know DeSantis has to you know basically pivot from we have very high COVID cases to blame somebody else, blame the immigrants, blaming the immigrants for COVID in Florida.
They don't want to blame the hundreds of thousands of people that went to Lollapalooza all over the U.S. that all spread it to each other.
What about just blame the governor who says you don't need to wear a mask, you don't need to get vaccinated? You know, so I mean, you can blame goes there more than in a poor immigrant who's running across the border.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of workers here that were ready to go into work, and about a week ago or a week and a half ago, with the rise of numbers, they've just had people stay at home.
Yeah.
So there were people looking forward to going back into work, like fully into the space, and now they're going back home.
I have some things here. I want to finish this up quickly about coronavirus, immigrants, and everything else. Public health experts have said it's reasonable to be concerned about coronavirus spreading among migrants, especially if they've lived in close quarters. Babak Javid, a professor of medicine at the University of California, San Francisco, said it would be fair to say that detention centers like prisons are likely to be hotspots for transmission. We saw a lot of this last year, but they said there's no evidence that it's happening on a large scale like Governor Desantis is blaming Biden. William Schaffner, a professor of preventive medicine at Vanderbilt, said it may very well be that immigrants coming illegally into the country are contributing to COVID. I mean, I'm sure somebody who's coming across the border has COVID. All right, nobody's saying they don't. Okay, but William Schaffner also says, but given the extensive transmission already in the United States of America, the contribution from somebody crossing the border without inspection is akin to pouring a bucket of water into a swimming pool. Mm-hmm. It's hard to imagine, it's hard to measure, and it seems pretty trivial to me. That's basically the bottom line there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, did anyone check out the Olympics?
Absolutely.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you watch?
Yes.
I did. I've been keeping up with it, though.
Yeah, I felt bad for Simone Biles.
Yeah.
I felt very bad for her.
I did too.
You know, because, originally people were like, come on, what kind of mental, emotional
and those people
issues.
Can suck a toe.
Yeah, but then I'm like, what are you kidding me? She's flying up in the air, leaping around 3 times in the air, and she loses her sense of where she is in space. She'll break her neck.
Right.
How do you say go compete?
Yeah, no.
She had something called the twisties, and she was forced to withdraw. It's a mental block. So it's like when you're flying up in the air, you lose track of where you are in space. You're gonna land on your neck and kill yourself.
Exactly. So it's like she did it for her own personal.
And she had nothing to prove. She has more gold medals than anybody.
She actually broke a record.
Yeah.
She broke a record, so.
I don't know how many gold medals she had in her lifetime, but I know she had more than everybody else.
I feel like I read somewhere where she broke a record because she just got with one of her, I think she got a bronze medal, and that kind of like put her on some kind of record that she broke.
Yeah, she has actually here. I'm just reading it now. 7-time Olympic medalist, 4 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze, and at the end of the day, she did come back and win a bronze. So that good for her.
Exactly.
Allison Felix, American sprinter. She became American track and field. She became the most decorated track and field athlete in history with another gold medal on Saturday, winning the 4x400 relay. Jamaica also won Friday night.
Shout out to Jamaica on Independence Day.
Yes, they won on Independence Day.
Yes, that was huge.
Yeah, the women's team won 4x100 meter relay. They set a national record. They did do it on Jamaican Independence Day. The team clocked in at 40.82 seconds. United States finished with 41.45. Britain took the bronze. The 3 team members, Elaine Thompson, Hara, Shelley Ann Fraser-Price, and Sharika Jackson, swept the medals in the 100 meters. A few nights later, who won? Florence. in which Thompson Hara broke 33-year-old Olympic record of Florence Griffith Joyner.
Yes, that's huge. That's huge. Yeah. And I did read right here, Simone Biles became the first African American woman, or the first American woman to claim the title 7 years in a row with that bronze medal. So with everybody talking mess, she still came out and broke records.
And the U.S. Olympic basketball team won gold again.
Yeah, of course.
Come on.
Of course.
Of course,
right. Look at us.
Right. U.S. women's soccer took bronze. And there was a refugee Olympic team.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until, reading up on Host Chat, which is awesome.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know about it either. It was established in 2016. By the International Olympic Committee for at least 13 athletes from 11 different countries who were stateless.
That's amazing.
So they were not able to participate in any in the Olympics because they didn't have a country to represent.
And that means a lot to me because my family were refugees in Sudan. So, if that was them at that time, the fact that they gave them a home and a team, that's, I think, amazing.
Yeah, so, all these young, according to Filippo Grande, he is the United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees. He told CNN Sports, we've all shared hardship and deprivation and separation from loved ones. We've all lived through a sort of collective exile. All these young men and women, in addition to COVID, have behind them a history of deprivation, separation from loved ones, physical exile, and somehow they carried a double symbolism in the entrance to the Olympic Stadium, representing the Olympic refugee team.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I thought that was very nice. Now, nobody has actually won a medal on the Olympic refugee team.
Listen, representation is enough. How about this girl? I thought she, the cyclist, did she not? I thought she did. Yeah,
She won?
This cyclist.
I thought nobody won.
I could have sworn the cyclist
see.
did.
No, the Refugee Olympic Team is yet to win its first Olympic medal. Kimia Alizadeh, who previously competed for Iran, came the closest.
Oh, she became the closest.
After winning her first 3 taekwondo fights in Tokyo, she then lost her last 2, including the bronze medal fight.
Ah.
Yes.
Hey, representation is winning right there for me. That's winning. That's huge.
Every time I think about the Tokyo Taekwondo, I have to give a shout out to my daughter.
Is she?
She was a, well, I'll tell you a very quick story about it.
Okay.
15 seconds. You want to hear 15-second Taekwondo story?
15 seconds.
Okay, 15 seconds. Tell me, go.
Go.
My daughter Gabby, starting at 3 years old, was dropped off at a Taekwondo birthday party. She wanted to go back every day, week after week, Taekwondo. Nobody knew what was going on. I would just drop her off and go to work. Next thing I know, she's a yellow belt, green belt, black belt, double black belt. Then I'm taking her to New York State competitions. She wins the New York State Taekwondo 13 and under when she was 10 years old. They want to send her off to Colorado to train at the, I swear to God, train at the Olympic.
The next Karate
yeah,
Kid.
she was going to be like Ronda Rousey.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, she's like, beating everybody up in the ring. And I'm like, wait, I don't want my little daughter getting beat up like this. So I stopped it because, she was on track to be Taekwondo for this Olympics. So I remember her crying, "Oh, you ruined my dreams! You ruined my dreams!"
You should have let her keep on going.
Yeah, she's happy now. She's okay with it. But every time I hear that, but I said, "Listen, I saved you from getting beat up. You were not. My daughter was not. She was never going to win. She was never going to win.
You never know.
Did you see Bruce Springsteen's daughter won?
See what I'm saying?
Did you see that? Yeah, Bruce Springsteen's daughter won a medal in something with horse jumping.
No.
Right. I forgot what. It was a silver or a bronze.
How did it take us so long to find out that your daughter could beat us all up?
Because I'm dropping her off and I'm going to work and I'm not staying there watching. And then my ex-wife would pick her up from the Taekwondo and I come home and I'm like, how is everything? Great. And then nobody tells me anything. Next thing I said, when did she get a black belt? I had no idea.
Have an undercover ninja in your home. Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Yeah. But that's a true story.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But Bruce Springsteen's daughter was silver equestrian jumping. My daughter ended up as a triple black belt, but never competed anywhere as an 11-year-old.
That's huge. That's huge.
Meanwhile, a white cow by the name of Rani lives in Bangladesh. She's a very special cow, Vanessa.
Looks like a cow with a bulldog.
She is being hailed as the world's smallest cow.
Oh.
She's 57 pounds, 27 inches wide, 20 inches tall.
Oh.
And if confirmed by the Guinness World Records, this 23-month-old cow will be about 4 inches shorter than Manikganj, the current title holder for the world's smallest cow. Rani is a craze as she has a high possibility to have her name in the Guinness Book of World Records. Abu Sufyan said Rani was born in 2019, is not expected to grow any taller, although she did gain 15 pounds in the last year. Because of the COVID pandemic, Abu Sufyan hired 3 security guards to help control her fans. He said they're allowing 10 visitors a day. This cow has fans?
I cannot.
How many fans does this cow possibly have?
Not more than us.
Can you check out, Vanessa? Does the cow have a fan page on Instagram?
I must look into it.
Can you look into that? Does this cow have any fans?
Let's see.
What does the cow have? Jonathan's looking right now. What do you think? Is Rani the cow from Bangladesh? If Rani the cow from Bangladesh has more followers than us, I'm giving back my law license. Going to become a farmer.
What who else do we have in there while we figure out where Rani's
All right. Meanwhile,
I don't know if they have
UPS. Maybe not. All right. Then there's still faith in this world.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, they don't have a lot of followers.
Okay. Good.
All right. UPS driver Sean McCarren started a Facebook group 6 years ago called UPS Dogs. The group is dedicated to the photos of dogs that UPS drivers meet on their route. You know, the dogs that chase the brown truck down the street? UPS drivers from across the country submit their photos and videos.
Look at that one.
The page now has 1.8 million followers.
Sheesh. Okay, there you
All
go.
right, there you go. All right, the law license is going back.
Yeah.
1.8 million followers for the UPS guys taking pictures of their dogs. He said, McCarren said dogs are really important to people's families. They're like their son or daughter. So you talk to them and treat them as such. Very cute.
That is cute. Look at all those, though.
Very,
it's a whole
very
group
cute.
of them.
You know Salma Hayek?
Love some Salma Hayek.
All right. So she has an owl named Kering, who she adopted 2 years ago after responding to an advertisement about rescue owls.
Oh, wow.
After researching the work that goes into caring for an owl, Hayek decided to adopt one. Hayek told People's 2021 Beautiful issue, "I gave it to my husband as a Valentine's present and named her Kering because that's the name of his company and their symbol of the owl. Well, thank you, but I know this is your present for yourself," is what he said. Hayek says that when my husband's not in town, she sleeps in the room with me. We have certain routines before we go to sleep. I watch TV with my iPad, and she likes to stand on the iPad and watch it.
I don't like birds. So.
Anyone out there who wants to give me a bird? Keep it for yourself.
Yeah, me too.
All right, if I get a bird as a present, as sad as I am to say, I may keep the windows open. Right?
Listen,
isn't that awful?
Sylvester the cat can come and visit me.
Would you want a bird, Vanessa?
I mean, this is an owl, though. This is a unique, exotic.
Hell no. Listen, all the alley cats can come in and have its way. Yeah, I don't like birds at all.
I don't know about cats eating the owl.
I
but,
don't like birds. I don't care.
A response, Brad, because I always stay so stuck on how much every time that any conversation on birds come up, Yo-Yo is out.
Yeah, right. He's like, no birds.
All my friends make fun of me and send me all these crazy birds.
If a bird comes near you, what do you like? Freak out?
I have a video of me actually shooting for Bradshaw Live. I'll send it to everybody next time.
You know what?
You can see.
You know what? Next week on Fuzzy Monday, let's pull out the video of Yo-Yo running from the bird.
Jilly, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.